You're right.
They have this for breakfast Sunday morning
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. Somebody gave us a case.
Oh,
But the date
that's
is
nice.
take home.
Oh, the date's old. Still good?
Yeah, I just heard. It's good for 5 days after 6 days. That
How
told
was
me
the
that.
shir yesterday?
Good. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
The morning and the evening.
Oh, yeah? Have a big breakfast, a lot big crowd here.
Breakfast was.
Did you make the breakfast here?
No, we order it. From Chaim
Prepare
Levi,
it, eggs,
caterer.
potatoes. Yeah, chelak al, right here you have a chelak olive. Okay, Hilchos Krias Shema by say. What page? So,
Fresh new something.
page Reish Ches. Page Reish Ches, the bottom of the page, Siftes. The very last line, Siftes. So I would like to just to remind ourselves what we were talking about last week. Recap, like they say. We started discussing the halachas of Kriya Shema. We said Kriya Shema, Shachris and Arvis is min ha-Torah. B'shach b'cha, v'kumecha. Achloikis v'shoinim, which parashiyas is min ha-Torah? Is it just Shema? Is it also V'hafta, or is it also V'hayim Shemaya? Everyone agrees that Vayomer, Parashas, the parasha about tzitzis, was there in order that we should be able to be maski Tzias Mitzrayim. But everyone agrees that if you already mentioned Tzias Mitzrayim, that parsha is only midrabanan because you already yaitz in the Torah. Now, Ma'aseh l'chatchila, you tried to say all the parshiyas, but it seems from Alter Rebbe that the Iker Hadin, that the first pasuk is the Iker Din of Kriyash. Now, we said the beginning time of Kriyash Shema min Torah is Alois HaShachar, dawn. Alois HaShachar, Amad HaShachar is one and the same. Means dawn. Dawn means when we see light, but we don't see the sun yet. However, the Chachamim said to be careful not to read it too early. A person should wait until the Zman, which is called Mishiyakir. Mishiyakir means when I recognize Yakir and Makir, my Chaver, someone who is not a close friend, but is not someone I don't know at all, and I recognize light enough outside that I recognize him within Dalat Amis, that is a shear of Misha Yakir. So Chachamim made a harchaka together, read it from Misha Yakir. Even though in Torah, you can read it from Alois. Now, the reason why Min Torah is Alois HaShachar is because Miksas B'nei Adam wake up my Alois HaShachar. They wake up as light to wake up. So therefore, that's Uvukumecha. Chachamim made a gather and said, no, wait until Roiv B'nei Adam get up. Those days, Roiv B'nei Adam got up by Mishiyakir. It's that light enough outside of Mishiyakir, Roiv people already getting up.
Mishiyaki has to be friend, or you see a guy with the yarmulke. He knows a Jew.
He's Ragil Imoik, doesn't have to be a Ragil Imoik Tzas, but if you're Ragil Imaharba, you'll recognize him even far away. You'll see from how he looks, is how he walking and everything.
How much time is different?
These days, you look at the calendar.
How much different is Alos and Mishiaki?
You see on the calendar, it's not so.
It's couple minutes, right?
What do they write in the calendar?
Because it's different time, Mishiyaki.
And the big perhaps.
So the Ma'aseh lahalacha,
5:30.
l'chatchila, huh?
5:38. So 5:07 is Alois. 5:38.
Well, around a half hour.
Half an hour, yeah.
Yeah, it's been 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, so it became much more lighter at that state.
Some with the.
Now,
Depends who also know
remember the Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe went with the Magen Avraham Shita, Lagabe the Seif Zman, 3 hours into the day, because it says the Bnei Melachim mixes Bnei Adam. Like the Bnei Melachim, they get up 3 hours after Alois HaShachar. After Alois
Good to
HaShacher.
be Melech.
So that's a Soif Zman of Ubukumecha.
Teenagers.
That's a Soif Zman of Ubukumecha.
That's a lot like that.
By the way, some ask, what about the Bnei Malachim? They also have to say Kriya Shema. They only get up
By that time.
by that time, so they missed the Zman. The Zman is up to that time, not after that time. So one pshat is that it's not talking about Yidden. Bnei Malachim means like even Goyim. That's generally that they don't have to work, so they will get up late. Another pshat is no, even if it's referring to Bnei Malachim Yidden, it doesn't mean that they get up, that they wake up then. They get out of bed at that time. They already woke up earlier. They're lying in bed. There's no reason to rush out of bed. They're lying in bed, but so they can already say Shema earlier.
Right.
Anyways, I just saw that today when I was looking before for the shir. Now, so the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur says a Soif Zman, you calculate like the Magen Avraham from Alois HaShacher 3 hours. Because that's the Tchilas Zman. Min HaTorah Tchilas Zman is Alois. So the 3 hours of the Soif Zman is from the same time. From Alois, 3 hours. Like we explained, it's Shoy Zmanius. It's not 60 minutes. It depends on the day. However, the mice in the Siddur, the Alter Rebbe changed, and also the Gra changed. It didn't change, the Gra held that way, that even though the Tchila Zman min HaTorah is Alois HaShacher, we don't calculate the Gimel Shois from Alois. The Gimel Shois into the day that the Bnei Malachim get up is later. The Bnei Malachim is shlafing more. From Neitzacham or Machash to the 3 hours. So you have a longer time to say Kriya Shema, Ladas, the Alter Rebbe, and the Magen Avraham. Now, we also explained that if someone was a oinus, he could read Kriya Shema from
Only.
Alois on, not Mishiach, even though Chachamim said you should only say Mishiach or non, because Chachamim did not put their words in cases of Lehimidu Divreim in the case of a oinus. Then we learned in the ending of last week that if you Lepoil read Kriya Shema from Amud HaShachar on, even though you weren't an oinus, so you were not supposed to, only in the case of oinus, you're supposed to rely on the Min HaTorah. But if you did it, you're anyways Yoitze, because Chacham did not take away b'di'evet also. They said not only in the oinus, but even b'di'evet cases, they said you go by the Min HaTorah. The Min HaTorah is man HaShachar, so you already yoytze. You did it, you did it. Now, this is why we're coming to where we're holding now, on the bottom of Amud Reish Ches, Sif Tes. Misha Ya'amus. Now we have the opposite case. A person a whole night didn't read Shema. So now we're talking about the Kriya Shema Shel Shachris. What happens in Misha Ya'amus v'loi kara Kriya Shema Arvis b'layla? He didn't read Kriya Shema at night.
Till what time?
Till what time is Kriya Shema Shel Arvis? Is it Alois? Mishiyakir? Nates? When is the Siyum Hazman for the light?
First Mishnah Berurah.
So he says, Shukaira Acha Sha'olah Amud HaShachar. You can, if you were a Oinus, you can go to read it after Amud HaShachar. Up until Nates. Now, Mashkim, what happens to such an individual? We didn't read it at night. Now he's going to be reading it after Amud HaShachar. But this same person, Mashkim Gamkin Latzal Derech, he needs to leave early to go on a trip, Lamokim Gedudi Chaya Velistim. The thing is that if you're an Oinus, you have to leave. You're not going to read Kriya Shema. He's going on a dangerous route. We're not going to be able to stop when it comes Man Kriya Shema, Mishiyakir. You're an Oinus, like we learned last week. You're allowed to read from Amud HaShachar. So here we have someone who can, Pi Halacha, read Kriya Shema Shel Arvis and Kriya Shema Shel Shachar at the same time, one after another. What do we do? He's made for the night. He didn't yet do, and but the Evid he didn't do it at night. You could do it till nights. And this person also is leaving, and he can't read it later, so he doesn't have. He can't wait till he doesn't have to wait till Mishiach, he can read it right after Alais. So he's having Kriya Shel Arvis happening. Kriya Shel Shachar is a bukumecha b'shachach b'him. So what does the Alter Rebbe say? I afshel v'kikish beis pa'amim. Achas b'shel laila v'achas b'shel yom. You can't do that. Shemi'achas she'asal, third line and Taparish test. Shemi'achas she'asal oisi shel laila. Once you said the first Shema. Now, so you're proclaiming that until Neitzachama, I consider it still night, and I want to be mashlim for my krish, my mispeh arvis. So it's laila for me. You can't now go and say, oh, it's day for me, and I'm going to read Kish Mishal Shachas. Ella. Yikra b'shvil Kish Mishal Arvis. Laila. So what should you do? Read Shalayla because that comes first. That's your chiyuv. You're losing right now. Shizmana over Shachani Tzachami Efshel L'Kreisa Kalal, which is Bar Sham in the simulation Lamed Hey, which is Dinei Kish Mishal Arvis. We don't have, by the way, now the Shulchan Aruch. So we're missing. So first read that because that you're going to lose for sure. After Netzachama, you're not allowed to read it. V'shal Shachris Yamtin. Wait. Ulai is damalei the kreis b'zmanik chosa. Maybe you'll have time.
You have another 3 hours.
So, well, hopefully you'll have some damlas to say it. To know you're going to difficult terrain. List the mechayis rois, but you could say one pasuk and you'll figure it out.
Kick the problem down the road, so maybe it'll.
Yeah. You have fits the first the mitzvah veris. That pushes off everything else. So it's going to be later.
It's not like Shmonayis, if you read Shmonayis, it's V'ayit Shleim, or Shachit Shleim, we read Shmonayis double. Shema is different.
Yeah. Good question. Good point. Shema is Shachris and Kumecha, V'shapach Kumecha. Shachris and Agis. So it's different. And by the way, when you do Tashlumin, it's not the same level.
Give you a chance to do the
No, but it's something.
Over here, his Shema is a real Shema. Minatoida, Shalaylas until mates. I want to tell you something. There is, I believe a Shagas Aryeh. Yes, Mishnah Shagas Aryeh. I saw this many, many years ago. It's a big shiloh like this. The shiloh and the Zman over here, they don't fit together. Krias Shachas, we say, stops 3 hours, let's say, after an Eitzacham. By night, we don't say that by night. We say you can read Shema a whole night.
Whole night, yeah.
Shach B'cha. What do you mean B'shach B'cha? We're teaching B'shach B'cha and Kumecha now differently. Kumecha we say when you get up, not when you are up. When you're up, you're a whole day. With B'shach B'cha, you're teaching while you're asleep a whole night. How does it work? You're two different teaching the psukim. In Manashach, we should say if you can read Kishma a whole night, you should read Kishma a whole day.
It's not Tyson's question. That's Tyson's.
I get you.
No, it's a Lamar asks. It's not Lamar.
So the doubtful.
Beginning of the
I
mission.
remember Kesef Mishnah. I remember something. I don't.
Lamar's have asked the question. Well,
Yeah, I don't remember. It's many years ago. I didn't look at it. I remember something about a Kesef Mishnah, maybe asking this question, and I think he says that Eina Chanami, but he said that Psavar to Eina Chanami, that a whole day you could read Shema, something like this, but does Chazal teach it differently? I don't remember. You have to look it up and we'll get back to the Olam.
I heard a story by
Because the Shechorot should be when people go to sleep. When we go to sleep.
People sleep all night.
Because what's making me think over here, we're saying that Netzach, from our lois till Netz, is a time which essentially Be'etzim is Laila and it's Yom. You can't do both at the same time. So what's happening here? We're saying he mixes Bnei Adam get it from Amud HaShachar. Sidik, we're saying that people are sleeping. Many people still sleep until
like.
So we're like sort of like taking both sides of the coin.
In the Chos Ruben doing this
Mhm.
book. For a story that means a pocher for bringing the night. And it's early morning. So he came to the rabbi and said, "Shedder," and he Krias Mashal Amida. So the rabbi told him, "Go to close the window shed." Said Krias.
You know that, by the way, even though Krias make it say whole night, but Lechatchila, like the Mishnah says in Brachas in the beginning, that you have to read it before Chatzos. The Tchila of
Mar.
Kriya Shema. Might is the whole night.
All the way around.
Yeah. Kriya Shema. Some hold that might have also. Might have is tied into Kriya Shema. You should do also before Chatzais. Tchila, let's say there's a Fabrengen or something, and you hit
Shema.
Shema, and I've seen that by a Fabrengen.
And then continue from there.
So it hits Chatzos.
Before Chatzos, Shema.
Even if they don't go.
Let's say it's Kislev or something like that, where they started a Fabrengen before Ma'ariv, earlier in the day. Let's say you started 2, 3. Fabrengen is Nimshach. It's a long Fabrengen, and it comes now Chatzos Halayla.
Stop.
So you have before Chatzais, people should everyone should say Kriya Shema. And if you match at the ending of the Fabrengen, you all daven Ma'ariv together.
Right.
So that's,
They say Krishna Almita, they say the whole Zaynu Shalom's and all.
well, later.
No, but before 12, before Chatzos.
No, just Shema. Just Shema Mitzvah Min HaTorah. No.
Right.
Yeah, Ma'ariv you didn't daven yet. Just Mitzvah the Etzem Mitzvah Kriya
Just
Shema.
Shema, no?
Read the Gimel Parashiyos. Mitzvah the Mitzvah Min HaTorah to do it. The Chazal said Chatchil do Koydem Chatzos.
That we should give Kushel Brocha.
So that was after Ma'ariv.
After and he went all the way to 1 in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, or 2 in the morning, and already it's starlight.
Yeah.
Okay, but then there was no halach issue, but that's the way the Rebbe did it.
Right.
The only shaila by then was the Rebbe's benching. The Rebbe used to not bench he wouldn't say ala geffen to the whole after the whole Kol Shabbat. That was a big pellet. What?
He didn't leave his place though. He was by his place.
He didn't. He don't find clear in halacha such a thing that. I have to say something like he was always oisik in it. He was with the becher the whole time.
I was holding
He never did it. Right. The shear went by. The shear equal. We don't find it. It's a hard thing to understand.
My Shabbos would go sometimes 4 or 5 hours. I don't bench till end. We're sitting at the table.
But you still Seveya. If you're not Seveya,
We're sitting at the table. Right?
but the Rebbe didn't drink the whole time. He didn't drink the whole time. He didn't drink. From Avdallah, so all those time he didn't drink.
Because the cup was in his hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't that like say if you don't leave your place, you can still bench?
He's a koya.
Because your stomach is still involved in digestion.
Hours and hours.
I don't remember seeing such a thing.
after not sleeping a whole week.
I don't remember
Like going to bed for a whole week.
Sif Yud.
That was a malakalot.
Af al pi, Rabbi say, af Sif Yud. Af al pi shizman nimshach ad soif shah gimel. Even though, like we learned earlier, the zman of Kriya Shema is until the ending of the 3rd hour of the day. Im avro shah gimel v'loi kara. Koyre b'cheseh kol shah dalid. You can still read it with its braches the entire 4th hour. In Soizman Tefillah, you still have another hour. Shu shlish hayayim, a 3rd of the day. Kedin Tefillah shachar shiat shlish hayayim. Like Zman Tefillah is only until shlish hayayim. Ve'ein lo yischar al kriyasa, al kekoyah b'toyra. Braches, you can continue and do, but the inyan of Kriya Shema itself, you already missed Kriya Shema. Mitzvah's Kriya Shema. Because it's not b'kumecha anymore. But so that you only get schar for koyre b'toyre. Avaloi kimisha koyre b'zmana. Shoschore gadol meha'oisa b'toyre kol hayoyim. Afilu shaloi b'shas Kriya Shema tefillah. Then you have a much greater schar than someone who's oisa and toyre the entire day. Ve'im avra shah dalid v'lei kara sho v'niyach l'kreisa and bircheiseha. Now you already lost the brachis. Have a b'lei bircheiseha yach l'kreisa kol hayoyim. Without brachis, you can always say Kriya Shema. V'toiv shikrena for the Kamel Shemai. Person miss Kriya Shema, he should still say it in order to makabel Shemaim every day. However, now the Rebbe brings in a parentheses here, sheet of the Rambam. It's only until Shadaled. Maisa, those Siddim, the older Siddim that were Meirich in Tefillah or rely on the Shita, they said Kriya Shema, which is brachis. Even Kriya Shema itself, of course, they read before the Zman in the morning. But brachis Krias Shema you can't say after Shadalid. They relied on the Shita. Shiachal Krias of Kol Hayoim B'Birchei Sehel.
You didn't start
And it's a
davening.
Tzedek, if I recall it's a Tzedek also passed in that way.
You didn't start davening after that Shas. They start early.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yud Aleph. Im loy kara b'yoyim, if someone did not read Shema by day, yesh oimrim, there is a shita holds, sheyesh la tashlumin ba'arvis, yikra tchila shal arvis akash shachris. Read the kisha shal arvis, and right afterwards say kisha shal shachris. Kein loy kara kisha shal arvis, yishat shal shachris, kemay b'tfila. Shaloi spell arvis, spell shachris time. Right? If you missed Ma'ariv, you daven two Shmoneh Shachris. Second one is Tashlumin for the night before. Same thing Krias Shema. That you say again a second time Krias Shema, that's Tashlumin for the what you missed. V'yei Shemim, no. Ein edoim el tefila shiva kashas rachem and v'yachal avakish b'chol eis or b'chol shah. Some say you can't. Tefillah is something you could always daven to Hashem. Any time of the day, daven to Hashem, ask for Him. Our Krias Shema Tala Akas of Zub is man Shchiva, Zub is man Kima. One is supposed to be in Zman Shchiva, one is supposed to be in Zman Kima. Chirika Shal Shchiva is Zman Kima. Or Shal Kima is Zman Shchiva. How do you read them at different times? Well, Zen Nemar, the Pasuk says, okay, Heles, Uvis Leyuchol Liskin, that this is something which that you missed out, crookedness, that you cannot be masakin, you cannot correct when you miss Krias Shema.
They have a problem.
The Kain Iker, well, the Rebbe says the Iker is like the second Shita that you cannot make it up. Well, Lamaisa, there is a first Shita, so why not say it? Why not say it? Okay.
Rabbi, a lot of people during the day, they're up, but they're sleeping. You talk to them, feel like they're sleeping. And I have them. Right?
Saying Krishna.
They can say their own day catch.
They say l'chaim v'loy mavis. What is l'chaim v'loy mavis? If it's l'chaim, of course you're not mavis. Obviously, there's a type of life that's loy mavis. Person can walk around. He doesn't have to live.
He's dead alive.
Loy mavis. He's not dead.
The cancer.
Say that are you alive because the truck didn't hit you, or you're alive because you're alive. You're lebedik. You're full of life. We have to be full of life. V'kol zeh v'tap of reishut. V'kol zeh b'Kriyas Shema olvada. However, b'chiseha l'dibri hakel there's no machlekes. Yishaf shelo ela b'zmanan, and there's no such a thing as tashlumin. No svara tashlumin. Geheich yom yoytze be'erev. How could he do such a thing? Well, brachas hachroines, the later brachas don't mention Gal Yisrael or Beichis Ba'ava don't mention Ma'ariv and Yetzer. Brachas hachroines ain't smuchas l'sheinis. They're brachas smuchas l'chaverta. They're packaged deal brachas. They come together. Can't separate them. So it's only the Gabi Krias Shema itself that there is a shita that holds is smart to say that's like tefillah and you can have tashlum. Simin und tes din brach rishayne beyoytzer beivav sifin. Sheva brachas tiknu chachamim l'Kriyas Shema. V'shacher shtayim lefanea v'achas achra. V'erev shtayim lefanea v'shtayim l'achra. V'samcho oisan al pasik. Sheva bayoyim al tichai. I will praise you 7 times. It's the 7 brachas. Brach rishayne pesachas bebarach barach ata Hashem Elokeinu melech olam yetzer eir v'eirei cheshech v'tiknu lahaskir midas laila bayoyim. Why do we mention midas laila during the day? Why do we say v'eirei cheshech by day? Yetzer eir. What's in the gei cheshech? Lahetzi milev haminim. The heretic she'oimim shemi shebara oir loy barach cheshech. It's two different. Two different creators. It doesn't
mean that the lack of light is darkness. So the one, it's not a creation, it's just a lack of light.
No.
Or say Yetzer
Yetzer.
Hara.
It's the Choshech is also in Tzira.
There is that machloikus of the choikrim. Is there such a thing as darkness? Is darkness a bria for itself? Or is darkness just a lack of light? Why is there darkness here? Is there darkness because there's no light? Or Hashem made such a thing called darkness?
Yetzer. Void.
So this is a deep concept. Chassidus discusses this, and Chassidus says, "Ubeirei chesed." She created chesed, but he created it in a way that its existence is heder, because it's there when the earth.
There's some place in the world is light, some places in dark at the same time. Some place says that there will be a place in the world that Jew not lonely. The whole one like this. 24/7 should be around the world. Somebody is sitting alone.
V'im tov amar ba'achat Hashem k'malchem asher dvarim ma'alav aravim. By day you said ma'alav aravim. V'nisker miyad, you right away correct yourself. Amar yoytze oir, add to the sima bracha. V'chasam, you finished off correctly. B'yoytze ma'oidis yatsa. Aval amar Hashem dvarim aravim v'loy. Amar miyad yoytze oir, you did not correct yourself immediately. Even though you finished off correctly, the chesimas habracha was the yotza hameires. V'yatza shekol psiches habracha v'heseketikuna. This case, the entire psich was incorrect. Sheberech klala yitzira sa'ir. Mashein kain kisheniskar miyad am yitzar chicken to usay uberech ayitzira sa'ir. You have to correct yourself. You didn't correct yourself, it's a problem. What happens? So you said the beginning correctly, but then you went into Ma'arav. Afilu ad sim habracha. You said the whole entire bracha Shabbat night, but the beginning was okay. And then you launched into the bracha by night. And the sim habracha, you said the correct one. The chasam yetzer hameidus yatsa shepsichas habrach v'chasimus chasimas kitikuna av shebe'ense shinim matbeya shetavu chachamim yatsa b'di'avad.
He drank a lot before, probably.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, how could this happen? Avol im chasam hameidus v'arabim af mishapasa yetzer belvad kol b'tikuna had chasim liyatsa. He said the whole bracha good. At the very ending, you messed up and you said Hamana Varavim. And at Yoitza Shekol Bracha Tzichilis Psichasa Vachasimasa Kitikuna Afilu B'Diavad It's Ma'akiv. Mikol Makim Shal Yatza Im Le'yiniske Shatah Shagama V'Rabbi Avas Olam Le'yafsik Lachs Le'Yoitza Or Beina L'Kriyas Shema. Person didn't realize he made a mistake till he finished Avas Oilam. He finished Avas Oilam, the second bracha Krishna.
In the morning,
Can say. He realized that I said the first bracha wrong. I said, now you can't add in Yotzeror, because now you have to go to Kriyashma. You're making a hefsek. Wait till after Shemana Esrei and say it by itself. Bracha for itself. Add Yotzeror after. The takana was to say it before. That's correct, but it's not ma'akib.
If you go to shul, you see everybody with the tefillin and tali. We can go to.
People are not thinking, They're looking at their phone. I don't know. He's schlafadik. He's schlaft. He thinks it's nice.
Too much love.
In Shulchan Aruch, it's a lot of times that you find a lot of cases it's hard to see such mistakes happen. But we learn from these different discussions about it, what is the halacha? Like we understand
Some cases happen.
the cases bring out the halacha.
Some people don't have Siddurim back in Europe. It's good.
It's a good point. We're thinking today, but then they didn't have Siddurim. There was no Siddurim. There was no printed publishing company.
And no light even.
So how people daven?
By heart. Balpeh.
How do you know how to daven?
Torah Shabbat was Balpeh.
Confused.
No, but how do you know how to daven if you have no Siddur?
They were taught Balpeh. Like Torah Shabbat, Mishnayis.
They taught by a pen, they learned by a
Yeah.
pen.
It used to be even later on where it was hard to expensive.
We're smarter than
So
us.
the Sheikh Tzibur had people listened in Chazaras Hashatz, right? It was
Because they know how to read.
it's true. It's a good point. So people could get more confused and mavulvul when they're saying things. These mistakes were more common, most probably.
We have everything. No excuse.
Yeah, we have the art scroll. No,
Everything.
We're missing the concentration.
Put the phone down.
I just saw a video that
Yes.
someone asked the Rebbe, a reporter came to the Rebbe, and she asked, "What's his message for the world?" She wanted to hear like about Mashiach or something. So the Rebbe said, it was before Rosh Hashanah, said, "Ksiva v'chasima toiva." So she didn't know what that meant. She didn't know Hebrew. I mean, she seemed like she was Jewish, maybe, but she didn't know what Ksiva v'chasima toiva meant. Maybe she wasn't Jewish. So, anyways, so the Rebbe told her that I'm not going to translate it for you, because if I'm going to translate it differently, I want you look in the Siddur, the prayer book, and here is the correct translation. I'm going to say it differently. People are going to start to make a new translation of what it means. So so that's what he told her. And then he asked her, "What about you only want messages like for the world? But do you have any personal thing, personal life?" So she said that they're all fine. Like her personal life is fine. So they're happy. She said. So the Rebbe said, then he should be twice as happy.
Yeah, it was so quick to answer to someone.
In America, they have a problem.
It was interesting that the Rebbe didn't tell her the translation because she asked. She said he doesn't understand it. It's interesting that the Rebbe didn't tell her and said to go look in the Siddur. Have some kavanah, I guess, that she should go to the Siddur.
And not all the Rebbe wanted to do.
It was interesting, yeah.
Wanted to do.
The way the Rebbe said it was a little bit like she'd asked,
With a nice hand.
Rabbi, in America, they have a problem because most American religious, they don't understand the Kavanah of the Tefillah. We're Israeli, we understand more. And so many Americans are asking, you know what you read?
Big
I
problem.
say, no.
We struggle a lot with our children in the schools because they struggle with the language barrier. So our children have to first learn the language. And it's very hard for them, for Americans, to learn. Eretz Yisrael, the language is not a barrier. They're not learning the language. They right away go to understanding things.
That's so. It's the non-Zionist speaking yeshivas have this problem. Don't have your class.
It's true, but that's not most of the from Yidden here.
Oh yeah,
It's a problem with the Chinuch.
That's one person speaking Hebrew.
in Europe, I knew a guy from Belgium. On all these countries, they all speak people fluently. Some from these people, families in Europe, they conversational Hebrew. And they tackle learn better. They understand.
Yeah.
There's no language barrier.
Great, very great.
The problem. The problem. It's a big issue.
Speaking about Parashat Peh, my Rav was in the 1970s. He was a representative for an organization called Oifat Torah. They funded yeshivas in Iran and Morocco. All these kids eventually came here. They learned in the yeshiva in Philadelphia, whatever. And they all know everything by heart.
Shalom Aleichem, where are we holding?
And the Rabbanim now, they all became Rabbanim here.
Yeah.
Tell me that they spread them all out here. In their Yisrael, they went to their Yisrael, they went to US, and they became the future Rabbanim here in Brooklyn.
You know, the Yemenite, till today, if you have a Gemara or Siddur, every place you are sitting, if you're sitting here, you can read it normally. You can sit in here, because my brother-in-law said they had one Gemara, and 10, 15 people arrived. So you see it, and they can read from all over.
They got used to this.
You get used to it. I saw how we read. You sit there, and you read like I'm sitting here. I can read it.
It's so fluent, so fluent.
Unbelievable.
So many years ago, living in Israel, so the Rosh Hashanah said when he first came to Israel, when we were originally American, we were on the bus, and he sees this guy reading a Hebrew newspaper upside down. He said even the guy to show off and chutzpah, then he realized that he came from the Arab countries, and they all sat around in the semicircle around the road, and it was only one sefer, and everybody had to learn how to read upside down.
But there was no one reading with him then. He could have done it the easier way.
No, but they all know how to read it back upside down.
Yeah.
And till today, with the Yemenite read Torah, said one pasuk for the Torah, and then somebody said Targum. Somebody standing next to him. I said, you see kids, 5 years old. It's a targum like
Yeah?
unbelievable. The teacher when he's 3 years old, and every time another few guys stand up, it's a targum.
That was the whole thing, Karen the athlete. They sat in the semicircle around
Yeah.
around
We have a minion, Rabbi say?
Yes,
the
the guy is upstairs.
Ah.
We're going to help.
Theo is coming.
No, he's not here anymore.
Oh, okay. Shakayach everyone for joining.
Yaakov?
No.
Oh, no.
Thank you everyone for joining. Good to see you.
Upstairs, I heard him.
Did you figure out who's in the picture, the Rebbe?
Only after Sunday, I have a beautiful picture of the Rebbe when he gets down. Like he looked in my eyes, like I'm standing like this, and he looked in my eyes. I see his eyes looking at me. That's sanity. It's a beautiful picture.
You have it in your house. I saw it in your house.
Huh?
I saw it in your house. You have it in your house.
In the screen. Oh, you saw it.
Beautiful.
My wife also has a baby. But I never saw he's looking in the eyes. I'm looking to him, like you see my eyes looking in his eyes, and the picture was taken from here. You see his eyes looking. I don't know what he told me.
Take care, everyone.